Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Gray Man Prepping. And we got ads popping up everywhere over here, so you probably have ads out on your end too. But it's a Tactical Tuesday, and tonight's topic is going to be creating a working budget. This is weird. I've never had so many ads pop up at the beginning of a live stream. Because even on mine, I had two earlier, and then I just had two more just now. And I don't know what's up with the platform. All right, so how's everybody doing out there? Man, it's just like ads everywhere. Jeez. I mean, that was like, what, 6 minutes from the first ad when it first kicked off till the second pair of ads? Something's wrong with the platform here. All righty, and let's see here. Now let's say hello to everybody first. Got it thrown off my game here a little bit. All right, so scroll to the top. First one in was Walt Rogers, then Troop 1351, Phelan Clan Wolf, Shady Hill Homestead, Angels Homestead, Daniel Berry Sports Highlight. It's the Marshmallow Man. Scrolling down here, Tammy Harder, Prepper for the Ages. Okay, all right. Oops. And then I'm just looking over here because I got YouTube up on the side so I can type stuff over there and do searches and drop stuff in. Down, you know how you have the chat on the right hand side there, and down below you have the list of other videos you can watch afterwards. For me, the first thing below there is not another video. It's an ad from State Farm for Protect Your Home from Electrical Fire. State Farm is pleased, blah, 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 to give you a free device to plug in. It's like, yeah, so they can see what's going on and accidentally cancel your, insurance policy. All righty. Atlas game ad. Yeah. Okay, so tonight, well, I've addressed this twice before over the last 5 years, and it was requested again. So I also happen to have one put over on the Prepping for Beginner playlist. So this tonight is going to be a little bit of a classroom. I'm going to try to keep it not boring. And yeah, I'm not trying to keep it boring. I'm trying to make it funny. All right. And so you remember stuff. And Myra Page just came in, and Utah Mike's in the house. So budgeting is something that I don't think there's a Gen Alpha, Gen Z that really knows how to do budgeting. Not with any of the videos I've been seeing them put up and stuff. Our government indoctrination system has worked for what it wants to do, make everybody dependent on the government. They sure failed in teaching simple math and setting up a budget and stuff like they used to have back when I was in school, and even when my kids were in school. They still had some home ec and courses like that. All right, so let's take a look. Okay, someone just went walking by my window here. I may need to go to the back door here for a second. So I will be right back. So please, hang on, I got to get that set up right here. Yeah, I got to go. So hang on a second. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm on the live stream. All right. Yeah, that was one of the grandkids wanting to come in. And it's like, Hey guys, you're supposed to have your mom call to see if it's okay. Alrighty, so budgeting. Budgeting can be simple or it can be as hard as you try to make it. Let's take a look here. What are we talking about? We're talking dollars and cents. Dollars coming in, dollars going out, and everything in between. So I've seen this out for a lot of places, and it is wrong. I've checked with some real accountants and stuff. And they go, no, don't even try the 50, 30, 20 budget, because you're giving you way too much on your wants, especially in today's world where the essentials is more than 50% of your budget. All right. And anybody's lucky to get 10% savings is that, but the wants, if you want it, you got 30% of your income you can spend on it. No, it doesn't work that way. All right, so budgeting, you need to have revenue, expenses, and then the expenses are. So this is a little cheap one to toss up here. Are kind of, in daily living, expenses in daily living are the same thing, but if you want to break out to one of set deficits or set expenses, and then fluctuating expenses, that would be more proper on it. And remember, wants versus needs are two entirely different things. I want to have a 6x6, 6-ton military truck with both electric and air starters on it, as a mechanically driven injector system, so it can survive an EMP or anything else, and has a multi-fuel engine in it and all that. That's a want. That's not a need. I need something to get me around to the store and that. So there's differences there. Yeah. So cars, new car, used car. Well, I got a used car because it's going to get me around what I want, and it was like half the price. Do you really need to go out and spend $80 on a dinner for two? Or can you get a lot more meals for that same $80 for your whole family at home? Come on. Let's go. Need to go out partying and drinking all the time? Is that a want or is that a need? Be honest. Don't be sarcastic. Say, oh, that's a need. So wants versus needs. Let me get over here and get the next one up here. Okay. Come on, where is it? Got to get to open up in front of it. So I'm going to help you create a simple budget here. Here we go. And let me enlarge this just a little bit. So it's okay. Let me look up here. Maybe make it a little bit bigger. Wait a minute. Wait. Hang on. What the heck's it? Hey, come on, computer. Stop doing that. The mouse is wiggling around. Okay, we're just going to start here with simple stuff. All right. Now, I'm just picking some base numbers, probably way out of line stuff. And so I'm just going to pick some stuff here just to give an example. So income, $1,100 a month. That's probably wrong. Probably for most people, it's probably 18 to 25. Believe it or not, a lot of people are in that bracket there. Let me just throw the numbers up here. Homeowners insurance, say that's $95 a month. Your water bill, depending on your utility, can be range anywhere from $50 flat fee up to so many per gallon. And so that can either be a fluctuating one or a set in stone one. I'm going to say it's a set in stone one at $75. Sewer fees, $15. Electrical is going to be a fluctuating one, and gas is going to be a fluctuating one. So on some of these, I could shift some of these around here a little bit. Like I could pull these out here, Control X, and insert it above this one. All right, because generally your medical insurance isn't going to change year to year. Your life insurance isn't going to change year to year. Car insurance, where it used to be steady, now it's fluctuating all over the place, depending on how you drive. But so medical insurance, say you're paying $100 a month, car insurance $250, and life insurance $58, because that's what I'm paying on mine. All right. Oh, that's what I forgot. I forgot to put in some magic formulas here. Formulas. Auto sum. Boom. So that's going to give you the total. If you have a second income, you put a second income and it'll add it together. Say you have a secondary income and you're making $550 a month. All right. So boom. Let's go ahead and extrapolate that out for the rest of the period here. Boom. There you go. That's why I like Excel. Excel makes making a budget really, really easy. Mother Earth Garden Club, welcome. And did I miss Tammy coming in? Oh, there's Tammy coming in. Hey, Tammy, Rebel Canners, and Tammy Harder. Okay, so we got both Tammys in here. All right, so let me do this here. I'm going to insert a row. And on this one here, I'm going to put this down as a, hang on here. Make that one. Where is it here? Ribbon, come on. Uncollapse the ribbon. Thank you. I'm back over here. I'm going to make that one there there we go. And this one here, I'm going to do an auto sum as well. And so here are your expenses of almost $1,200. Your total income is $1,650. So you got about $450 and $57, But then you also have gas, electrical. And if your electrical's like in California, well, that's $150 a month right there, at least. Gas is $75. Phone. If you're smart, you got Mint Mobile with Ryan Reynolds for $15. Wait a minute, you got 2 lines, so that's $30 a month. Internet, you've spending $185 for internet, and since you got internet and all the fun stuff on internet, you don't have to have cable TV anymore, so that's a big fat zero. And I'm going to come down here and put another line across here. And we're going to make that one there a blue. And put this here as a auto sum. And what this is just going to show you, I want to extend it because all the way up there. All right, so you got 440. Now down here, I'm going to put do a special formula plus this one plus that one. Enter. So you have, and then I'm going to carry this one here. I'm going to go plus and take it up to there. And let me go ahead and add more lines down here. home, all borders. So we can add stuff there. And I'm going to do this one here as a pale green. And this one here, I want this to be a red, but I don't want the dark red. So I'm going to change it and get a more colors. Thank you. I'm going to give it that one. Okay. And so what this here is plus this minus that, and you have $17 left over. Now you can do this all by hand in a ledger like I was brought up learning how to do it in high school. And you know, and the thing is, if you drop a number somewhere, you can screw up things really quick. So as you can see, for someone making $1,600 a month after taxes, this is after taxes, and you can see you can add a whole bunch more lines in here for your income, your brown state taxes coming out, federal taxes. You can calculate all that in there as well. And so that you'd wind up with a other colors up here for your taxes coming out and everything else, and give you your thing. But we're just going to say these is net after taxes for the income. So basically, you have $17 a month just on what I punched in here, just guessing at things. And there are some people that live that way. They have very little money left over. There are some that wind up dropping stuff. They drop out the life insurance. They'll say, I don't need life insurance, and they'll put a big fat zero there and take the life insurance out. And there are some that will say, you know, they'll monkey with their car insurance so they can lower it down to something. Do bare, was it public liability and property damage? They take it down to $95, but they don't have very good coverage, and they have a high deductible of like $500 to $1,000 deductible if they get in a wreck. So we've dropped some expenses down there, and now you have $230 a month left over. What do you do with that $230 a month? Wait a minute, we still got other stuff to put in here. Let me shift these around here. This way. Control-C. I'm going to move that up to there. There we go. Numbers didn't change because of the way I did the movement in here. All right, things that we didn't include in here. And I see more kids running around outside. They just don't learn. And let's see. Oh, that's right. Besides car insurance, you're going to need fuel. And depending on the vehicle, anybody want to give me an amount for being spent on gasoline a month? Anybody want to pop that in the chat there? Give me a suggestion for that. Why I go type it in there while I go send a couple kids home. Mr. Smarty Pants this time. Okay, $150 a month. Okay, so we're going to put fuel in there for $150 a month. And now you're down to $80 left over. All right. Oh, wait a minute. We forgot some other stuff, and I'm going to put that other stuff. Actually, I should have put that down there. But let me do it this way here. I'm going to see if I can get this to work right here. Oh, what the heck? I'll just do it this way here. Insert. Add a couple more rows there. And let's see if I want to make sure the formula still work. Yes, they do. So I'll get rid of that. Okay, delete. That's one thing I like about Excel. If I insert the rows, it should insert the formula calculating as well. Everything still stayed the same. Yep. Okay. Food. $80 a month for food. Now you see where some people buy food or pay the rent. And that's something else I forgot to put in. I got home. So this home can be, let me change that here. Put something in here. Either a house payment or rent. Yeah, I know house payment's really low, but then the income's really low too. I'm just throwing in numbers here to make it workable. All right. So, I mean, what's the cheapest you can get by with scraping and scrounging to get by on food? I'm trying to remember what we did the 30-day food budget. Let me look at something here. Hang on. I got to go dig in here and into my deep files here. So let's see. Okay, I got it here. Found it. Oh, started filling out an example of a 30-day meal plan, and I did the challenge for trying to get by on bare bones stuff, and I trying to remember what that was. Hang on a second. Did I save that or did I drop that? Shoot, it's on the other computer. Anyway, so there was you set stuff up, what you can make, what you can buy. You just figure out what it is, and you try to get by as simply as you can. There's a lot of hamburger helper in here. There's other stuff, but this was like $250 for a family of 4 for a month. But that's where things can really take a twist on you. House payment is $1,600. Now I don't want to ask anybody what their simple income is, but I will change something on here to match. Hang on, let me look under the computer here real quick. All right, I'm going to change the income here. 2668.76. All right. That lives at that. So with that, I'm going to, however, with that, I'm going to take out the 500 extra. And actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this out, delete that, Control C, and just spread this across here. So that leaves, so for food, if I put food down at $250 a month, that's going to leave $848 to do something with. Now, 800 is 48 is approximately 35%, maybe 36% of the gross income. So your percentages here are shaping up. That's about 2/3, a little over 2/3 of your expenditures. Is that right? 2/3? Yeah. So that's actually that's about 32% for the there, but that's about 32%, and that makes this here. Wait a minute, hang on, gotta change the formulas here. That's the other thing you do. You can just put in numbers. No, actually, I'm gonna put it in as text. There we go. So 32%. That makes this one here at 68%. And let's put that in the middle. All right, so your expenses is 68% of what you earned. Which, let me go back to something here real quick. Back to this first one here. There we go. Where they said essentials are going to be 50%. Well, we're at 68, almost 70%. All right. So let me go ahead and bring this back up. There we go. Used to be hamburger to make multiple meals, but now it's $6 a pound, and it's only going to higher. Yeah. So as you can see, is and I don't have Starbucks coffees on there. I don't have the latest and greatest iPhone with the $45 or $85 a month charges to be able to do full internet and everything else on your phone and all the other stuff. That's not on there. As far as on your phone and stuff. So if your phone can tap into your regular internet, you're great on that. But yeah. And then your electrical can fluctuate summer to winter. Your natural gas usage can. Let me make a correction. Let me make so it's understandable. Natural gas or propane if you're on propane. If you're in a whole electrical house, you save that. You would save that 75 and double the electrical. So you can see how things are going to change, just trying to keep things in there for it. I think that was, I'm going to put the life insurance back in there. So we're still, so probably up closer to 70% now, or 69%. But as you can see, you're setting up a budget. And then once you have your set things that are set, if you got set water, set sewer and stuff, then you can just copy this and you can move it on across. And so your budget is laid out. Then as you plug in monthly bills, you'll see, the next month here in February, you only used $148 there, and your natural gas went down to 58. Phone bills still, these are still the same. These could go up on the other because they don't change hardly often unless they jack you around. Your next one here, fuel. You didn't have to make as many trips. So you didn't have to make any trips to the store, and you were able to consolidate some of your other trips and stuff. So you only used $125 worth of fuel that month. However, and you still spent about $250 on it. Okay. So let me go add. Yeah. I'm just trying to figure out how I'm going to slide this in here. I'm going to Control X that out and make sure the numbers didn't change. I just want to see if anything changed here wrong. No, nothing changed. Okay, good. All right, now, so you have $700 a month extra stuff. Well, let me just go ahead and put this in here. Copy this all the way across. So we have our formulas or whatever. And these two here. And come on, these three here. Control C. Okay, and why the big difference there? C29. Oh, that's why I didn't have this up there. That's another reason why. Okay, let's fix that one there. Got to fix that formula in there. Got to copy the formulas across. All right. There we go. And so I'm going to change this color here to a different color here. There. All right. So the orangey stuff color here, this is your this is what you have left over. Yeah, those are change a little bit there, so I can just. So what? How much are you going to put in the savings? How much into prepping? How much into what sort I want to use in here? Splurging. Did I spell that right? Spell check? Yep, I spelled it right. But I'll make it a capital to make it like the others. Venerable Owl, welcome. So how much a month are you going to put into your savings? Now that chart from before, see here, this chart here says, oh, 20% goes into savings. And I said, you're lucky if you can put 10% in. So we're going to go back here and we're going to put, no, wrong one. That's right. I can get rid of that one. There we go. We can put 10% in. And so basically it's going to be 79.07. All right. And say you want to put in, that's just basic savings. Then you want to put in, say you want to do 20%. So that's going to make that, shoot. All right, I'm going to cheat here. Plus that times 2. So 158.40, 158.14. Get rid of the formula. All right. And so you're going to put in twice as much as you're going to put in 20%. And so that leaves you, let's go ahead and do it, move this thing here down here, and we're going to take that out and put it down as a subtotal there. And so that's going to be plus that minus that minus that. That leaves you a 500 and whatever. And then before you go and jump on doing something for splurging, you want to put in, hang on, let me colorize this one here for a subtotal. You're going to want to have a rainy day fund. Which is basically sort of like, oh, you got a flat tire. Now you need to buy a new tire. Something happens. All right. So you're going to want to put it in there at least $250 a month for your rainy day fund. You may want to say you want to budget to have $2,000 in your rainy day fund. And anything over that you wind up, you can then kick into either prepping or savings or do something like that on it. So by November, actually not by November, let's do it this way. We're gonna run formulas sideways. Okay, let's scroll over here a little bit. This here is going to be formulas, auto sum. Make sure I got that right. Yeah. Hit enter. So there's $2,000 by August. So with August, you got $2,000. That's going to mean you're going to have basically $1,000 extra to put into something else during the year. To add to the other ones if you want to. So you see how setting up a budget is knowing exactly what it is you're spending. And I'm probably missing some things that some of you are going to spend stuff on. But we cut our income way back to do things. And so let's go ahead and say, copy this one here again to there. This time, electrical is going to go up to 168 rather. Natural gas, because less is going to use 55. Phone is still at 30 because there's 2 of you. Internet hasn't gone up in price yet. TV still 0 because you're not doing that. Fuel expenditures went up to 165 because you had to do some driving around, extra stuff going on. Food, you're able to keep your diets going the same without splurging on anything. Now, your leftover expenditures is a little bit less. And so and of course, and then some people do this 10% and 20% not on what's left over, but they do it they figure out on budget how much they want to put in. And if you do it on budget on how much you want to put in, so 26, that would make that, say you want to do it as 5% of your normal budget. Hang on while I figure this one out. Okay, let's do it this way here. I'm going to show you the difference here. 5%, so it's going to be plus that times 0.05. Yeah, that came about. That's right. So 133.44. 133.44. I like to keep numbers straight in there. All right, and then your that's going to be twice that, so it's going to be 266.88. And so down here, subtotal formula, that formula stays. We keep using that formula. Actually, we're going to run that formula all the way out here. course, it's going to say zeros until we get to a certain point and they get stuff filled in on it. But looking at this, back over here. So now you're going along and you see how much you have left there. So 250 out of it. That's going to leave you with, oh, let me just go do it this way here. Plus this minus, not plus, minus that. That means you got $300 left over. Let's go ahead and run that formula out. Okay, why is that one? Oh, that's why. That's why. Okay. So if you're doing the 10% and 20% of what you have left over after your base bills, that's one thing. But if you use 10% or use 5% and 10% of your net income, you're putting more into savings and more into prepping, leaves you less to splurge on. And say you're splurging on yourself $75 a month. Now I got another little wrinkle to throw at you guys here. All right. And hang on, I want to do it this way here. We're going to change that one to a pale green there. And I'm going to take that formula there. Formula. One. Formula. There we go. So you got $228 left over. And I'm going to make that a gray. That of things, but this, and you see it changed here, drop down here. I'm going to go and put that there, and a couple of, so you can see how your amounts fluctuate up and down as things change. Now, one of the things here that can really throw things off, by your expenses. Now, wait a minute. Here comes the big wrinkle here. May. Your rent increase or something happened, your rent increased to $800 a month. Ouch. And say this one here, we'll just say this one stayed the same. These expenses here. That's what I missed. Got to put that in there too. There we go. So now, with it going up to $800, you're now in the hole. So that means you got to cut out. You got to cut back on your splurging, and that means you're going to have to cut back on your savings and your prepping. So you're going to have to cut out $100 on your prepping. So we're going to make that down there. So now you're doing just a little over 5%. Did I do that right? Yeah, 5% on your prepping. Is that a formula? That wasn't a formula. So you've cut it out. So, cutting out your splurging, you're now got $27 left over. You're still building your rainy day fund for emergencies, but I filled my taxes in March to get a small refund. In about 6, yeah. Yeah, my wife, being an accountant, she does our taxes too. So there are things here to consider on what you can do, what you can't do. But if you have a budget and you actually figure out where you can save, what you can get away with, not doing expenses on. Now, things I didn't even have up here, I put down here splurging down here, and that could be um, going out to dinner, to dine, movies, um, you know, activity, bowling, bowling, you know, etc. Doing activities like that. If you start putting some of those in there, all of a sudden you can have a lot more expenditures to try to balance it against your income. And when you start adding adding expenditures in here, all of a sudden, you know, the you may wind up with losing the prepping. You may wind up losing the savings. You may wind up losing the rainy day fund. And you can see how, so you got to, if you keep track exactly on what you're spending money on, everything you're spending it on, you can see where you're going to need to make an example to do. Let's see, I'm going to go take this down a little bit more. There we go. So as you fill things out, you figure out what you're doing, income and stuff. You're going to realize that you have a lot of expenses, and these superfluous ones here. Let me give that a nice color of red with yellow wording. Let me make it a little bit easier to and bold it up. There we go. Now it fits. It's going to make, these are red flags here, and then your splurging down here is the same thing. These are the things that some people say, well, that's what makes life worth living. No, life worth living is kids. I'm sorry. And that's more expenses. So, okay, how do you, when your income fluctuates? Very good question. If you know approximately your low month per month is going to be, and your high month is, what do you budget for? You budget for the low month. So you would go up and enter the low month here as your baseline. And anything above that, say it fluctuates and you made 125 extra that month, 75 extra that month, 487 extra that month. You just, this is your extra fluctuating income, and you plug in the differences to balance your budget with your savings and expenditures, and you just enter in fluctuations. But you pick your lowest common denominator for your income and enter that in as your baseline. So yeah, so that's how you would, when you do if you have a fluctuating income. You keep seeing a commercial. Who's putting out that commercial? Is it a political party, or is it someone who is backed by a certain political party trying to scare everybody? You know, what's the reasoning behind that commercial? But anyways, back to this. So as you can see, you know, it's if you have multiple, also if you have, besides have fluctuating income, if you have a second job like Joe at hang on here, let me do it this way here. Right, yeah, there we go. Say you do Uber, EU, Uber. Nah, did it wrong. If you do Ubering, then that would be a second job, a side hustle job. That's like Joe at Garden State Gardener. He Ubers and he has another job. So you can put income for whatever you have for income. I sure hope, Angels, I sure hope you have an accountant doing your taxes. Even if it's just a friend for free, you know, they'll set you up for free and get you on the right path to which forms you can use, can't use, and the best way to file stuff, to write stuff off, writing off the truck, the depreciation on the truck as he's paying for it, and the depreciation going out, because that all reduces your tax liability. Yeah. Anyways, I hope everybody got something out of this and is thinking about doing it. You know, like I said, you can keep making this, you know, the more lines you add in, the more things you do, the more complicated you can make it. But the more you get down to counting every penny going in and out, the better reality or a better picture you have of your reality of what you can and can't do money wise. Oh, and I forgot to put the other big expense on there. The other big expense. Hang on, I got to get this set up right here. Nope. Amazon. Oh, I need that. I got to have that. Where'd it go? Why did it? Oh, I did jump that way. It shouldn't have jumped that way. It should be staying on that. So Amazon can really, you know, rack up some dollars on you. And then there's another one here. Gardening. But this, if you do it right, this will cut this one here down a bit. All right, let's see here. Okay, we're hitting the top of the hour. So I hope, like I said, I hope you guys got stuff on it. If you need a little bit of help, I can put a blank one of these together and send it to you. You got to have Office, you know, Microsoft Office on your computer to do Excel or one of those other spreadsheet software programs that will import Excel into its system and, you know, let you open and view Excel stuff and, you know, work on it that way as well. I'm not sure, but maybe I've never tried it. Google Docs will allow you to work on Excel on Google Docs. Don't know. So with that, coming up here Thursday is the Midnight Ride here on Gray Man Prepping. Friday on Camp Patton Family Compound, the topic is livestock babies. Saturday is from for the event is after the Constitution is revoked, and I will probably be live with Shadow Scout Swede at 2 o'clock Eastern time as well. Next Monday is to blanch or not to blanch. And next Tuesday, we're talking power. Generator versus power station. All right. So that's what we're going to be talking about next Tuesday. All righty, everyone. Stay happy no matter what life throws at you. Stay safe. Don't go out and do anything foolish. Keep adding to your preps: water, food, medicine, clothing. Learn a new skill, such as budgeting. And try growing something. All right. Take care, and hopefully I'll see you Thursday for the midnight ride.